all three of us, after taking a break last week, things came up, life happened, and we weren't able to get an episode in. We didn't really have a whole lot we were going to talk about. So, you know what? We just said we'll scrap it, and we're going to take the week off. We're going to come back refreshed, ready to rock and roll. We have we've got, and right now it's about time. We're going to be getting into some conference and college conference previews and NFL divisional previews here. There's going to be football tomorrow night in the Hall of Fame game. Former NDSU Bison is going to be starting for the Trey Lance is going to be starting for the Chargers as we get training camps are all underway. College football, first day of training camp for most teams started today as well. Grant rejoins us here, and we're going to preview the ACC and the NFC and AFC South today, but there are a couple of things that I have seen over the last couple of days in the sports talk world that I wanted to get both Grant and Ethan's opinions on here. And the first one I saw was Danny Parkins was filling in on the herd for Colin Cowherd today. He's going to be joining Grant's favorite Fox employee, Nick Wright, his brother Nick Wright, on First Things First. And he proposed that I'm going to propose this trade to you for straight up. Now, if the Eagles were to offer, or the Chargers were to offer Justin Herbert for Jalen Hurts, do you make that trade if you're the Eagles?
No.
You already have a guy proven in your system to win Super Bowl. Why blow that up? Who's never won a playoff game, if I'm not correct?
Justin Herbert in his career against teams against playoff teams is 3-18. Jalen Hurts has put up two of the best Super Bowl performances of all time.
Mm-hmm.
When it's nut cutting time, Jalen Hurts delivers. Justin Herbert shrinks.
I mean, if we're talking about a more just like natural gifted quarterback, yeah, that's probably Herbert. That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Hurts gets the wins. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah, I know when Philadelphia needs a play, number one's going to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
When Herbert needs to make a play, he's going to throw an interception in the playoffs. Also, one player choked away a 27-3 lead in the playoffs against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
His name starts with a J, and it's not. Yeah,
and it ends in Austin Herbert.
Yeah.
When he started talking about that, I was like, "There's no way I would make that trade." Do I think Justin Herbert is a more talented quarterback than Jalen Hurts? Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
On the eye test, yes. But when it comes, like, Jalen Hurts is the perfect quarterback for the Eagles system and what they want to do. Maybe Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are happier with Justin Herbert throwing them the ball. But at the end of the day, I mean the Eagles I think they would be stupid. I think they'd be successful. But I think especially now with Harbaugh over at the Chargers, I think Hurts would still be good. But I think both QBs are right where they need to be at this point in time. And I've never thought about any trade like that until Danny Parkins brought it up.
And I think you just look at the intangibles that Jalen Hurts has that Justin Herbert does not. I would run through a wall for Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert doesn't make me want to run through a high school banner that says "Go Panthers." The plastic banner. He and the leadership aspect of that, he doesn't do it for me.
Sir.
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, make me want to run through a brick wall. Jaden Daniels in Washington, Baker Mayfield, I'm running through a brick wall.
And my next one is that I saw today while I saw on TV was Mike Tannenbaum released his top five quarterbacks in the NFC, and he had none other than Jordan Love as his top quarterback in the NFC. Now, a number of things went through my mind was like, wow, all of the good quarterbacks are in the AFC. And 2, did he not watch Jordan Love at the end of the season? I mean, and maybe I'm not going to shy away that I am a Packer hater, but outside of the Dak last stand game, Jordan Love has been, and I guess you could say he played pretty well in their loss against the 49ers. Jordan Love has been very, very inconsistent to where he's even a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. Well, I mean,
he during Toyotathon in December, these last 2 years, he's balled out. But Dylan, your point, besides that, he's very average the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'll give him the beginning of last year. He was hurt right away in the beginning of the year. First game versus the Eagles in Brazil. Hurt that. It was his ankle or something. Knee. I can't remember.
It was
we thought it was going to be like a torn ACL, and then it was it wasn't even an.
I'll give him a pass on the first half of last year. But yeah, he needs to play like he did the last half of the year again. Like if he can do that, then yeah, he very well could be the best quarterback in the NFC. But we're a long ways from that.
But I mean, and looking at the list too, he left off guys like Matt Stafford and Baker Mayfield. Both of those I would take over Jordan Love. Baker Mayfield's going to get a huge contract. Stafford has won a Super Bowl and has been really good the last 2 years as well when he's been able to stay healthy.
That's what he needs. He needs one of them back transplants.
Well, we might be getting closer. Dion got a bladder transplant, and you never know. Back transplant could be next.
Never know. I don't think he's not the best in the NFC.
All those hits in Detroit are slowly going to catch up to Stafford. Years later, they're going to catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan Love's not even the best quarterback in his own division.
Mm-hmm.
My bold prediction here, I'm putting it on the table. I'm putting it on the internet, so it's official. Is by the end of this season, Jordan Love will be the worst quarterback in the NFC North.
Well, I mean, it's possible.
I think it's very possible.
I'm not going to say it's likely, but it's possible.
You go back. If you put up the big picture on it, he very well could be the worst quarterback in the next 2 years in this division.
You could literally give it 6 months from now, you can make an argument for every single one of the quarterbacks in the NFC North to be
the best. Or the worst. The best.
Yeah, you literally could.
Yeah. Well, because someone's got to be in last place.
I don't think Jared Goff would be in that conversation. I still think
he's got it rolling right now. It's going to be between Caleb, JJ, and Jordan for the worst.
Yeah.
And for JJ and Caleb, it just comes down to inconsistency and not barely even played any yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But that is what we have for our 2 random. We'll get into the meat and potatoes here of the episode.
Random question for you. If that's what Tannenbaum said, who's your best quarterback in the NFC? Is it Jalen Hurts and then the field? Or are you going someone else?
Well, like I said in our group chat, I'm fully on board the Jared Goff train. I think just the 2 years he's had. And then I would probably go Stafford at 2. Now I got to look here who I had. Baker at 3. Jalen Hurts 4. And
Jaden Daniels 5.
Jaden Daniels. Well, I had McDaniels, but I for some reason. But yeah, Jaden Daniels at the 5.
I saw that and didn't respond, but I was like, he means Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, yes. McDaniels.
I'd go Stafford 1, but besides that, I'm with you.
And I mean, even if Kyler Murray had a better attitude, I'd probably take Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray pre-Call of Duty release date is the best.
Yeah,
or has potential to be the best.
Also true. And well, yeah, I can't say I would take Dak over him anymore. After what Jordan Love did to the Cowboys in that wild card round, I kind of call that the Custer had his last stand. That game was Dak's last stand.
No, that's fair.
So, well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, guys. The training camp for colleges, most of them have opened today. We're going to be previewing the ACC this week here, and on paper right now, the clear-cut runaway favorite is going to be Clemson, as it should. They return a lot of production. I think I will go on record as saying that this season will be a disappointment if Clemson doesn't at least make the semifinals of the college football playoff. They return lots of production. This is Cade Klubnik and Garrett Riley, their third year together. And what we've seen a theme of, and especially in these last couple of years, is teams with a lot of production, a lot of continuity together. They haven't really dabbled much in the transfer portal. Will that bite them? Right now it has. Maybe this is the year that things come back down to earth for them. But the continuity, basically about a 3.5-year starter in Cade Klubnik, I think is going to really propel them. And I think this is we're going to see kind of Clemson take that step closer to what they were from that 2015 to 2020 run that they had between Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence here. So I do think that we'll get to our conference championship predictions, but our first we're going to do a team we're buying stock in, a team we're selling stock in for both conferences. Then we're going to pick our conference championship matchup and the champion winner. And then if we have any playoff teams in the in these the teams we have in the playoffs as these conferences, we will say on here. So, gentlemen, here, do we want to do it like we usually do with the helmets, or do we want to just?
I think the helmets have been in the bag too long. We need to bring them out.
Okay, well,
I'm with Ethan
here. The run the damn ball hat is will be the hat they're drawn out of. Here, let me go grab some helmets.
He always talks about preparation, Ethan, but he doesn't have the helmet.
I know. Dude, but talking about Clemson, I'm pretty sure I saw a mock draft with 5 first-round picks.
Yeah, well, they have the best quarterback in the conference, the best offensive tackle, the best linebacker, the best defensive end. Their wide receivers are godly fast and young. Some of those guys, they might not get drafted until 2027. And, to your point, Ethan, that's what they've been missing these last 3 years, that deep threat in the passing game. And I think Clemson's getting back to that because they finally got some speed.
I think Dabo's gonna have a hell of a year.
I agree. They're gonna run some train, and Tom Allen coming back or being hired as the DC, I think is going to be a huge difference because they're going to get back to what they did best, getting after the quarterback with 4. And they, like I said, they have the best defensive tackle and the 2 best defensive ends in this conference.
Yes.
And 2 returning linebackers and I want to say 3 starters in the secondary. So they're going to be a problem.
Yeah. But who's going first, Dylan?
All right. Well, so I have 3 helmets that I picked from the AFC and NFC South here, and Yep. Yeah, you'll understand. Don't give me that look.
I'm trying to think, but I think I know where you're going with it. But go on.
So with the first pick in the ACC preview and episode whatever, well the ACC, NFC, and AFC South preview episode here, the first pick is going to be me, the Houston Texans, because I am the only person that has been to the lovely city of Houston, and you guys cannot talk bad about it because you've never been there.
I think I know where this is going.
Second pick is going to be.
I hope it's the Cardinals.
Ethan.
Yep.
With the Falcons, because his former quarterback is also a quarterback. Is now a backup quarterback for the Falcons.
Myself, Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And
if this is it, then I'm 3 for 3.
I thought I might be looking at the Cardinals just because you went with Houston. That's your favorite city. I mean, Scottsdale.
Well, that's the South.
He's sticking in the AFC, NFC South.
Okay. Just those ones. Gotcha. Okay.
And Now, Grant, who do you think you had for the for the helmet prediction?
I'm going to go Florida team, and I'm going to stick with my connection to Tampa Bay. So I was going to go the Buccaneers.
Oh, look at you!
Let's go!
Nice, there it is.
Wow, that is a good one here. So I'll start with my the team I am buying stock in.
So Dylan, can we all agree that we have Clemson in the title game?
Yes, we have. Okay. We have no free ads, but we have Sharpied Sharpied Clemson into the ACC championship.
Yeah, I think so. Clark Kellogg would be happy with us.
So, my
Notre Dame team playing the ACC schedule again this year?
I think they play 5 games against the ACC. So
yeah, I didn't count Notre Dame at all in it.
But since it's not 6 conference games, I don't consider them.
No, I didn't count them.
My team I'm buying stock in is going to be the North Carolina Tar Heels. They just hired Bill Belichick, a guy who has won a couple of Super Bowls in the NFL. Took the year off. I think he really sat and observed. I think he might have learned a few things. I think, when you're at a place for however many years, sometimes you need that fresh start. Maybe working with some younger kids, getting back to really coaching and teaching the thing. I think the reason he got into it is that I think he really enjoys that aspect of it. Working with his son again, coaching Steve Belichick, coaching the defense. I fully expect the team's going to play hard. I think they're going to be very short up on like the fundamentals, the details of this. A big question about Carolina, or one of the big issues with Carolina last year, was the defense. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. And I think Bill Belichick coming there, his last year at New England, they were still a top 5 defense in the NFL. I believe they might have even been top 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Baltimore was that year.
Okay, but they were still a top 5, top 10 defense in the NFL.
They were number 1 against the rush that year. I know that.
That's what it was. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I mean, that's one of Bill Belichick's pillars, is stopping the run the ball, covering the kicking game. And they offensively, he brings in transfer Gio Lopez from South Alabama. He threw for like 25 touchdowns. The big thing with Gio, though, is he only threw 5 interceptions, and that's going to be a Bill Belichick staple, especially this first year. I think you're going to see them. He's going to coach the game to not lose. He's going to manage that game, manage the game to where put the team in the best position to win. With a quarterback like Gio Lopez, they're not going to turn the ball over. He has some really nice weapons also. Last year in 1-score games, they were 2-3. I would expect them to be able to flip the script on that. I think one of the things Bill Belichick is best at is understanding and coaching in situational football. I think those are going to be big differences, especially towards the end where Mac Brown just lost the locker room. I think this locker room is going to have the full attention of Bill. We're going to see, I think we will see a real field too, though, after how they come out and play week 1 against TCU. A good measuring stick. I think both probably evenly matched teams. And after that, they have cupcakes in Charlotte and Richmond, and then they start conference play going to Central Florida. So they got that buffer period to really kind of ramp themselves out and iron out some of those rough patches after the TCU game, and the rest of their schedule outside of Clemson. I think they'll go 11-1. No, but the way the schedule sets up, and if they're able to stack those wins and keep building that positive momentum, I think there's the possibility of them to be 11-1. But I do believe that they're going to finish in that 9-3, 10-2 range.
All right. Well, I mean, Dylan picked a red and black team for me. I think it's only fitting I go and pick a red and black team from the ACC to go with it. I'm going Louisville. Miller Moss transfers there. Braum just had a first-round pick. Was Shaw a first-round pick this year or second round?
Second round.
Second round.
I mean, it's still high draft pick quarterback. Like Miller Moss, I think, is a very underrated quarterback. I think he took way too much heat at USC last year. Lincoln sucks. Like the head coach there is just horrible. He's going to get fired. But on top of Miller Moss, they do have a strong running back group coming back. A couple questions at O-line. They lost a couple starters, but they added a couple quality offensive linemen. And then the big one is their front seven is really good. They added a guy from Coastal Carolina, Clev Lubin. Gophers are after him really hard, one of the top edge rushers in the portal. He's going to be going there. He had 10.5 sacks last year at Coastal. So, like, good production, good team. Had a couple question marks on the back end. They lost a couple starters, I think one to the transfer portal. But overall, like, I like the lineup of this team. And outside of Clemson, there's really not a juggernaut, to be honest, in the ACC. So, like, Miller Moss gets hot 4 or 5 games. Yeah, they could find themselves in. Is it in Charlotte this year again?
It's in Charlotte again,
yeah.
So
they could definitely find themselves in Charlotte again.
Ethan, they did they win? They win 10 games or 9?
I think they won 9. I think they won 10 in his first year when they played Florida State.
He's 19-8 overall. I know that.
They're 9-4, and all 4 of their losses last year were 1-score games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Ethan, I'm with you. I agree. I think Moss is going to take a step forward. And I thought about this today or earlier this week when Dylan said we were doing the ACC. People want to say Lincoln Riley this, Lincoln Riley that. I know we're not doing the Big Ten, Dylan, but anytime I can shit on him, I'm going to. He's not a quarterback whisperer. Look at these quarterbacks that are in the NFL that he's coached. They're absolute studs. Those Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Caleb Williams, 3 of those 4 have physical talents up the wazoo, and Jalen Hurts is just an absolute leader and a grown-ass man. So they were going to be fine in college no matter where they went. Lincoln Riley had nothing to do with them. And I think the Miller Moss we saw in the bowl game 2 years ago, was that against Louisville? When he put up 7 touchdowns in the Holiday Bowl?
Maybe.
It might have been.
I think it was, actually. I want to say it was. I agree, Ethan. I think he's going to take a step forward. And your point, Braum, a lot of players in the transfer portal, but he knows the kind of players he wants to get this year. And I think Louisville is going to be right there.
He's a very underrated coach.
It was USC.
Mm-hmm.
And also, though,
he got Aiden O'Connell drafted in the second or third round?
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of the work he's done as a quarterback whisperer. I mean, I'm trying to think who the guy he had before Aiden O'Connell. I want to say he was played some in the NFL as well. So, I mean, and Jeff Braum was a quarterback. His younger brother was a really good quarterback for Louisville. So, I mean, he's just a really good. Yeah. Well, yeah, his younger brother, Brian, is the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. But no, I like that pick, Ethan. Dylan, I'm gonna pick another team in the Tri-City area there in North Carolina, but we're gonna go to Durham. And no, it's not basketball season. I'm taking the Duke Blue Devils. Mensa, year 2 in the Manny Diaz era. They won 9 games last year. They won 9 games last year, guys. In his first year, picked up right off where Mike Elko was before he went to Texas A&M. And Duke led the ACC last year. I saw this today with 43 sacks. Continuity along the defense. They bring their quarterback back, one of the better running backs in the ACC. I think they're going to ride this momentum, going forward. And I'm buying Manny Diaz stock as a head coach. And like we said, this is not a juggernaut of a conference. There's a reason why we're doing it first when it's the farthest from football season. And like I said, I think Diaz is going to continue this train rolling. He's got his culture built in and developed. And, Duke, with its academic prowess, those players want to be there. Will it help? Of course, if they're getting paid through NIL. Absolutely. But he's not having to worry about guys wanting to leave. These guys want an education. I think they're going to buy into his program, and they're going to ride high going into this year. So I'm high on Duke coming into this season.
Early determinant of how Duke's season will go. Week 2, the Illinois Fighting Illini come into Durham to face the Blue Devils. Illinois, a team that a lot of people are looking in as a potential playoff team. It could be this year's Indiana. Good. So, we're going to find out a lot about both teams that day.
The kind of program that
don't play this year.
They don't? They do or they don't?
I don't think they do.
Illinois and Minnesota, they're always weird. They're the same program, but it seems those games they're always weird. Like when I say the same program, they're built the same.
The team that doesn't
mess it up.
The team that wins the game isn't the one that's supposed to.
Correct. They're built the same way. Strong running games, passing attacks not going to scare you. Good, solid, fundamental, sound defense. And the games just get weird in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're a fan of either the Illini or the Gophers, it's frustrating and you're probably going to lose a couple of years off your life. And if you're just watching as someone on the side, you're like, this makes no sense. But it's 1:30 on a Saturday, and I love this.
But Grant, we'll stay with you. We'll just go snake style here. What team are you selling your stock on in the ACC?
I am selling my stock, guys, in the Miami Hurricanes.
Oh,
I am out on them. I think last year was a bit of a mirage in this aspect. I don't think that was Mario Cristobal. I think it was all Cam Ward. Since Cristobal has been in Miami, and even at Oregon, he's had horrible clock management. He doesn't know how to manage a game. He can't build a defense. He can't find a cohesive defensive staff. They gave up almost over 30 points a game last year. New defensive coordinator, but and in this league, in this time of NIL, I think people just are interested in going to Miami for the bag, and they don't want to grow as football players.
In the weather,
in the women, in the beach.
I was going to say, let's not forget the main prize here.
And the nightlife. But then also, I look at it as their quarterback now coming in, Carson Beck. He's not that guy. He was supposed to be the guy last year at Georgia, fell up short whenever they needed him. Yes, they beat Texas last year on the road. That wasn't because of Carson Beck. That was because their front seven played like their front seven should have played all season. And Texas could not block them. He's more interested in cheating on his girlfriend and driving a fast car than being a good quarterback.
And just being a good person.
Yeah. So
and I don't know, Grant, if you saw his new girlfriends had some new have some new
the twins
features.
Got some twins. The twins got twins.
I thought they broke up.
Yeah, they broke up. They broke up.
They did. Yeah, that's what we're saying is that's what he missed out on.
He missed out on the twins.
Okay. Not going to be at Jake Ferguson's wedding.
What a shame that is.
He will not be.
That's a wedding I'm glad I'm not going to get an invite to. Fuck that guy. But also, is
that because he went to Wisconsin?
That is because he went to Wisconsin. I don't care that he plays for.
and his grandpa's Barry Alvarez.
Fuck that guy.
He doesn't have four fingers like Fumagalli, though.
Yeah, Fumagalli out there playing with four fingers. Come on, give it to me, bro.
Stud.
But no, and Beck's coming off a UCL tear. I think it's.
And he hasn't thrown much either.
He hasn't thrown much, and really, like I said, it was the Cam Ward show last year. But then they lost all their returning, all their best receivers. So it's a lot of just unknowns, and I think I'm selling my stock on the Hurricanes this year.
Well, Dylan, you bought them. I'm selling them. I want to see Bill Belichick prove it first. Their starting quarterback doesn't not that he's bad. I just doesn't. I don't know. I don't get he's gonna be a really good player that is gonna lead a team to 9 wins. They have 4 new starters on the O-line. They returned 3 DBs, pretty solid. That's really good, but a lot of transfers in the front 7. So they're depending on a lot of just cohesion, buying into Belichick. And granted, yes, he did that obviously with the Patriots for a number of years. College might be a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know if these guys are actually good or if they're just going to go play there under Belichick. I truly don't know. it's a big wait and see for me. Like I could see him being good, but right now I'm selling him.
I could see the Tar Heels this year, guys, being like a lot of his Patriots teams, starting out 2-2, 2-3, kind of trying to figure it out, and then maybe getting hot towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like the team they are in November 11th compared to September 12th is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where I'm looking at is that too.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting and a fun watch because there's so many unknowns. And is he going to be as ruthless as he is that he was in the NFL, or are these kids going to say, I don't like this, and I'm out of here, or they're not going to buy in? So it'll be a fun see.
Yeah. And well, that brings it up to me. The team I'm selling my stock in is a team that won 10 games a year ago. Did they win 10 games? They did win 10 games. And it's going to be the Syracuse Orange. Now, last year, they had a lot of things break their way. They had a weak schedule that they took advantage of. And then they also had a really good quarterback that didn't get a fair shake probably as much as probably didn't get the credit or flowers he deserved while he was at Ohio State. He still was a really good quarterback for the Buckeyes. They actually played pretty well in the Ohio State-Michigan game. The 2 interceptions were not because of him. It was because Marvin Harrison was making business decisions and giving up on routes, and that caused the interceptions. And what did Kyle McCord do? Is he went out and won 10 games, was the leading passing attack in the country, also ended Miami's playoff hopes in the last game of the year. And this year, they are also going to be relying on a transfer quarterback, whether it be Steve Angeli from Notre Dame or Ricky Collins from LSU. The difference is, though, is that neither of those two quarterbacks have yet to start a game in college or play any meaningful snaps in college football. And they also have to replace a lot of production from last year. Their top receiver, Traber Pena, transferred to Penn State. They have a couple of receivers that have shown flashes, but just haven't done it at a consistent level. Guys like Ross Simmons, who missed a good chunk, missed the first half of the year last year because he was injured. Darrell Gill and Emmanuel Ross and Jalen Hornsby also have shown flashes. Can they do it at a consistent level? Do they have the quarterback that can get them the ball? They also have to replace a running back that was drafted in LaQuint Allen, who was drafted by the Jaguars in the 7th round. Similar to the receivers, Will Nixon and Yasmin Willis both have shown flashes. Can they do it on a consistent basis? We're not sure. I really like Fran Brown. I think he is a really good coach, and I wouldn't be shocked if in the next couple of years that he's going to be up for a bigger job. And they also the biggest question mark for me, is they're going to be breaking in a new quarterback with not a lot of experience. They also have to replace 5 starters on the offensive line, and the 5 starters that are coming in are all transfers. So how are they going to mesh, especially early in the season? Because their season gets off to is going to be a potentially tough start because they got to go down to Atlanta and play Tennessee. And then, defensively, they lost their top pass rusher, Fadil Diggs, who's playing for the Saints. They have to replace. On top of that, they also lose the rest of their starters on the defensive line. They got a couple of good transfers: Gary Bryant from linebacker from South Dakota, and then Chris Peel from Georgia. Their secondary is experienced, but as we have said many times on this show, if you having a good secondary is only as good as what your pass rush can do. And also the big thing is their schedule. Their schedule is brutal this year. They start the season in Atlanta against Tennessee, like I said earlier, and their road games. I mean, you can mark down 5 losses there because They have to go to Clemson, they have to go to SMU, they have to go to Georgia Tech, they have to go to Miami, and they have to go to Notre Dame. I don't see them winning any of them. And I think a 6-6 year, 7-5, I think is going to be a good year. I think we're really going to find out how good of a coach Fran Brown is if they're going to be able to at least be competitive in some of these road games and give teams like the Clemsons, the Notre Dames, I think they have the ability potentially to beat SMU or Georgia Tech, but those other 3 games I think are going to be really tough for the Orange to win.
Yeah, dude, that's a brutal schedule and fun. Paying you that wide receiver. Fun fact, Dylan, he was on my college fantasy team last year, and he helped me win a lot of games. Him and Kyle McCord. So thank you.
The guy going to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then let's go to predictions here. We're gonna go with our championship matchup. Is we all said Clemson, and the team that's going to be second place, because Clemson is going to win this ACC tournament. Clemson may only championship. The only loss that they may have is in week 1 against LSU, the Tiger Bowl. But we'll see, because Brian Kelly has yet to win his first game at LSU.
Where's that game at, Dylan? Is it in Atlanta or is it in New Orleans? Is it a true road game or?
I feel like it's in New Orleans.
Ooh, you know what? Winner of this game gets to be called the proper Death Valley.
I think it's fair.
This is the Death Valley game.
Yeah.
Let's see, Clemson versus LSU. I want to say, it is. It's in Clemson. It's in Clemson.
Okay,
so
I like that. I
would give the advantage to Clemson. I think
absolutely
Clemson's going to be 12-0 this year.
I mean, Nussmeier is going into the playoff. Good,
Nussmeier's a stud, but but they don't play defense.
No,
they don't. Well, and I mean, they're relying on a heavy transfer portal haul, and especially early in the season, there's a lot of communication issues, a lot of those type of things. But the team that Clemson will be playing in the ACC championship is, you know what? I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech. You know what? Haynes King back. I think they finally have been able to fully get rid of the triple option era. They've had some nice wins over the years, and they gave Georgia all they could handle in between the hedges last year. You know what? I'm gonna stick up for the nerds. Give me Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Clemson wins like 42-13.
I got the same team. Haynes King is a stud. They return their top running back, their top wide receiver. They're going to put points up, basically. That's what's going to happen. If they can generate a pass rush, they will probably have a top 3 defense in the ACC. They were fantastic last year in everything pretty much but sacking the quarterback. If they can figure that out, I mean, they're a borderline playoff team at that point.
Ethan bought stock in this team. I didn't buy as much, but I think Louisville's going to get back to the title game.
There you
go. Ooh.
Like I said, I like what Coach Braum is doing. I think Miller Moss is going to take that step forward. Ethan said, I think their front 7 is really good. They're going to get after it. And those one-possession games that they lost last year, I think with a better quarterback play, maybe a little more upside to that, they're going to flip maybe 2 or 3 of them, and they're going to get to that 10-win mark. And they're going to play Clemson.
All right. And how many? Who do you guys have for playoff teams in the ACC?
Just Clemson.
I think it's going to be just Clemson. Yeah.
All right. Oop, wrong way. I turned the page. So we all have one team from the ACC here. So let's move on. Let's go to the NFC South here, and we'll just go 1 through 4. We're gonna at the end name who we think are gonna be playoff teams for that division here. So I'm going to start here in the first spot for the 5th year in a row. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be winning the division. Baker had a tremendous year that nobody talked about. Returns all of his weapons on top of adding my first-round pick in our Dynasty League, Emeka Egbuka, who I think is going to be a solid, steady. He's going to catch anywhere. He's going to catch 70 balls, 700 yards, 5 touchdowns a year consistently, especially this year. Just a guy that knows how to get open. Bucky Irving, excuse me, going into prior to last year, the Bucs had really struggled to run the football. Bucky Irving rushed for 1,100 yards last year. He was really kind of that spark where they were really able to run the ball. They kind of found that running back. I think he's going to take the bulk of the carries. They return all 5 starters on the offensive line as well. Big question is the defense. The defense last year really fell off. They couldn't find a way to get to the quarterback, so they went and added Hassan Reddick. I think Bowles is going to find a way. I trust him as a defensive coordinator to find a way to fix the Bucs defense and get them back into the playoffs and getting back to at least that divisional round here, where last year they ended up losing in the wild card round to the Commanders. Hopefully soon to be Redskins. 2 spot, I got the Falcons. We're going to find out, is Michael Penix the guy? Kirk Cousins is still on the roster. How are they going to look with the new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson? And the biggest issue with the Falcons for the last 10 years has been who's going to rush the passer. They went out and signed Leonard Floyd. Will that be enough? I don't know. 3, I got the Panthers. Will we get the same Bryce Young that we got for the last 10 weeks of the season? He looked really good. It looked like he took the next step. Canales really found a way to get him into a good rhythm and really kind of showing that potential of why he was taken as the number 1 pick. They also return all 5 starters on the offensive line. And then defensively, new defensive coordinator, Derek Brown returns after getting hurt in week 1. Can he show what he was as pre-injury Derek Brown? And in the 4, the only thing I got to say is...
Was that an ACL for Derek Brown?
It was something with his knee. I can't remember if it was an ACL or MCL. When I was reading it, I couldn't remember what I saw it, but I can't remember what it was. But in the 4 spot is going to be the New Orleans Saints. And the only thing I really have to say about this is they've got a new coach, Kellen Moore. We'll find out what he is as a head coach. I don't think he had a very tough job last year. It was give 26 the ball and let him cook. So we're going to find out. I've never been high on Kellen Moore. So he goes to the Saints. This isn't going to make anybody in this podcast sad that the Saints are bad. But in 1971, with the 2nd pick in the draft, the Saints selected Archie Manning. And in the 2026 draft, the Saints could also be selecting his grandson, Arch Manning, because they're going to be so bad. They will be in the running for the number 1 pick.
All right. Well, mine's actually quite a bit different, to believe it or not. Falcons, I have number 1. I think their offense is going to be...
That doesn't surprise me.
No, I had a hunch.
I think their offense is going to be...
That's the reason why
the helmet, baby.
Falcons.
I've always been a Dirty Bird fan, always. But no,
I've been after what they did to you in '98.
We're too young for that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen Ethan in a red number 7 jersey. God damn, it looks good on him.
May have carried a dog with me. Can't confirm.
Boone just covered his eyes.
But no, Falcons number 1. Obviously, we know about the offense. Bijan, London, Penix, you name it. They have the dudes. Defense, they know what their weakness is. They spent their first 2 picks on defensive linemen. They signed Leonard Floyd. They get Matthew Judon still there. Like, they have the guys to pass rush. It's just a matter of if they can produce or not.
Second, in a new DC.
In a new DC. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that attitude adjustment is going to be the big thing that they miss.
And they still have Jesse Bates running the back end. Like, they still have some dudes out there.
That's pretty good.
Terrell at corner. Like, these guys are going to take a step forward. Panthers, I have number 2. I think they're going to be the most improved team in the league. Yeah.
I like it.
Spicy. Bryce Young was fantastic at the end of the year. They surrounded him with even more guys. They got Tet, Thielen, Coker. I don't know if you've seen the highlights of Hunter Renfrow in training camp so far.
He looks healthy.
Looks like he hasn't missed a step. And
he looks healthy.
Lethal.
He just needed to get back to the Carolinas.
Was it 2 or 3 years
Carolina
ago?
was calling him home.
3 years ago.
3. He was so good. He had over 1,000 yards. People forget that. And that's not even – I think their defense takes a step forward. Like you said, they got Brown back. J.C. Horn, if they can get a full season out of him, healthy, lockdown number 1 corner, easy. I think the Panthers are going to be pretty good. The Bucs, I have number 3. I think Tristan Wirfs being out to start the year is going to have a massive impact. I don't know who they're –
What was that again?
Tristan Wirfs. He's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was it a knee?
It's something with his knee. He had a knee procedure.
Yeah,
that's right.
But like that's massive. They don't have a lot of offensive line depth to begin with, and when you're protecting Baker's blind side, who the hell knows whatever no name is taken up behind him? That's not great. That's not going to help anything.
He's not 78.
No, Godwin doesn't seem like he's coming back anytime soon. You're going to rely on Igbuka, McMillan, and then you hope to God Mike Evans' hamstring doesn't blow up for the 5th straight season. So there's a lot of question marks on that team. Like, yes, they have a good running back. They lose Liam Cohen. Regardless of people saying, Baker's had like 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years, at some point it's going to nip him in the butt. His TD ratio is not going to be what it was. It was like one of the all-time best last year. They're going to be good. I think their slow start without Wirfs is what's going to seal the deal on them. And then number 4 is easily the Saints. The best way to describe them is they have every intention of getting that number 1 pick in hopes of Arch Manning's coming out. I don't think he is. So good luck figuring out who you're going to draft.
So I have an update on Tristan Wirfs from this article was from July 22nd. And Bowles expects Wirfs will be ready sooner than later. He doesn't have an exact time, but doesn't know if he will be ready week 1, but he knows he'll be ready between weeks 1 and 3.
So that's a politically correct.
Shit out of his ass.
Politically correct answer. We don't know, and we're not going to tell our opponent week 1 that the best left tackle in the NFL is not going to play. Okay,
even if he starts on the pup, even if he starts the season on the pup, isn't he out the first 6 games?
Yes.
Yes. So he's got to get activated off of that within the next 2 weeks, basically.
Or I thought, was it the 2 weeks or start of this? I thought it was by the start of the season because I think
maybe it's the start of the season.
I think if you're on it week 1, then you're on 6 weeks. But to do it during training camp, then you get another body because then he doesn't count against the 90 players. Does that make sense, Ethan?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think they have him now.
He's still got to pick it up though.
Correct. And as soon as, and if you don't pick it up, like you said, week 1, it's 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's only 3 weeks, then they could put him on injured reserve with the distinguished to come back.
Right. Yeah.
And then they could keep that extra player in the regular season for the 53. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. Well, since Dylan gave me the Tampa Bay hat, I'm high on this team. So I also have Tampa Bay winning the NFC South. And like we said, yes, fair on the question marks, but I think it just, for me, it comes down to Todd Bowles is the best coach in this division.
Yes, sir.
And this defense is going to be healthier to start the year. The issues, yes, they are on offense, but early season, September, when your offense isn't clicking and you got to get that chemistry down, you're not going to get that chemistry down when it's 95 with the heat index of 104 in Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium. The Eagles tried to do that last year, and they got blown out of the water. And Tampa Bay, they're going to be smart. They're going to be wearing white. I think the defense is going to be aggressive. They're going to get after it. And just also I really like their 2 running backs they have. Bucky, like we said, we talked about Bucky Irving and Rashad White. But then also, yes, you lose Wirfs, but they have all 4 other starters coming back on the offensive line, which is huge. Like Ethan said, there's no depth. I don't know who this backup is because they're in trouble there. But those other 4 playing with each other again, that's huge. And I truly think Baker has found his groove because they promoted the new OC from within the staff. So he's comfortable with them. And I like Tampa Bay, and I think they're rolling. But number 2, and this is a clear, easy 2 for me, it's the Atlanta Falcons. Like Ethan said, this might be a top 5 offense. And I'm getting crazy here when I say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Michael Penix throw for over 4,200 yards this year and 32 plus touchdowns. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be like Pat Mahomes in 2018 when he sat his rookie year, but he's going to explode onto the scene. Because in his 3 starts last year at the end of the year, he was grooving. And they're going to run the ball with their 2 backs to keep him healthy, because if Penix has to drop back 35 times a game, there's a chance he's going to take a shot and his body's going to break. But with the weapons they have around him, the ball is going to be able to come out quick. They're going to attack the ball down the field. Atlanta is going to get after it. But on defense, I think it's going to take about 6 weeks for them to find their groove. And yes, they drafted those 2 young players. In the first round, you bring in Leonard Floyd, but it takes a while to get accommodated to a new defense like Philadelphia did last year. They're going to find their groove. I think they're going to make the playoffs as a wild card team, but they're going to be second. And in third place, a team who's going to be fighting and scratching and clawing towards the end is the Carolina Panthers, like you guys said. Bryce Young is proving everyone wrong. Like, this is why we don't jump on QBs after 1 season. Because put Bryce Young in Houston with the situation CJ Stroud had, and put CJ Stroud in a situation that Bryce Young had in Carolina, we're having the same conversation. He's a bust. He can't do it. It's a disaster. Well, yeah, when you have no offensive lineman around you, no running game, and no wide receivers, of course Bryce Young is going to struggle. It takes a while to build this up. And I think him getting benched last year towards the end of not in the middle of the season, was exactly what he needed. He needed to sit back and realize, I'm not at Alabama anymore. I don't have, I don't have Jameson Williams to throw the ball to me anymore. I don't have the best offensive line of the country. He needed to sit back and take some time for himself and learn. John Mechie, another player he didn't have, and I think he did. And it just shows he's mature past his age. Because a lot of young players like Will Levis, it breaks them and they're done. But Bryce, he grew, he came back, and he was a stud. And Carolina's going to be fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the year. They kind of remind me, guys, they're going to remind me of Detroit in 2022. They might not make the playoffs, but God damn it, they're going to eliminate some team at the end of the year when they beat them.
Yes, they let's see. They end the year week 18 now against Tampa Bay. But they also they play to end the year, they play Tampa Bay 2 of the last 3 weeks in week 16 and 18.
I love when the NFL does that. I love when the NFL does that. You said they play Seattle? Seattle could be a team that they knock out of the playoffs. Yeah,
Seattle. And they actually have a decently favorable start to the decent start to the year. I mean, they have Jacksonville and Arizona, both winnable games.
Where's the Arizona game at?
In Arizona.
Okay, so better chance for the Cardinals. But yeah, and to your point, last place, New Orleans Saints, they suck. The NFL is all about a head coach and a quarterback. First-time head coach. Their quarterback room is Spencer Rattler, Shaw, the rookie from Louisville, and God knows who else. See you next year. See you next year, New Orleans. It was fun. They're cooked.
They need a lot of help.
Kellen Moore, after this season, his last win in the Superdome still might be Super Bowl 59, Dylan. His last win in the Superdome might be as the Eagles OC. And his last good memory was the fade they threw to Devontae Smith that was the dagger in the Chiefs' heart.
Yeah. But now, since we have it now, Grant, you said you have Bucks and Falcons in the playoffs?
Bucks and Falcons.
And then, Ethan, do you have any team other than the Falcons in the playoffs?
Just the Falcons. Nope.
Okay, and I just have the Bucs in the playoffs here from the NFC South. So let's Grant, we'll keep it with you now. Let's go shift gears to the AFC South preview. So lead us off here. Who do you got winning the AFC South?
Well, first off, I just want to say the AFC South, of all 8 divisions in the NFL, might have the least amount of aura. Like
aura. That is a word I never thought I'd hear you use.
Yeah, but you know what? People are using it these days, and I just felt like now is the perfect time to say it because it is about as moo gets. I know whoever wins this division will be playing a Saturday home playoff game at 3:30, and every single home playoff game the Houston Texans have had has been at 3:30, and that will continue this year.
Yeah.
I just don't trust anyone else. I think DeMeco Ryans is the best head coach. I think C.J. Stroud is going to take a step back and realize after a good rookie year, he got a little full of himself. And he was arrogant. He took a step back. He's going to get back into the playbook. He's going to be a better leader. And then Nico Collins, hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Him missing, 4 to 6 games last year with that hamstring really slowed this team down because they were rolling. And then you bring in Stephon Diggs. Diggs wasn't having a bad year, unfortunately. Then he tore his ACL. He was out for the year. Tank Dell, I don't think we're going to see him, which sucks, but hopefully he can come back in 2026 and become a better player. But when you throw in that defense with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. And Derek Stingley on the back end, and was it Lassemeyer, the rookie last year that they got from Georgia? It's going to be the best defense in that division. And DeMeco's going to continue to build that culture, and they're going to do things right. I don't like the fact that they traded Laramie Tunsil to Washington. That concerns me because their offensive line last year was a weak spot, and they got away from the run too much. Well, I don't know. For whatever reason, they wanted to be cute and have Stroud be the guy. But when you have Joe Mixon in your backfield, give him the ball. He should be the center point of your offense. And I think they're going to get back to that this year with an offensive line that can't protect in the pass as well. We're going to run the ball a little more.
You just want that because you have Joe Mixon on fantasy.
Absolutely, which is also why I love the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ethan. You're seeing a trend. My fantasy team is consisted of 3 NFL teams. It's the Atlanta Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, if you were so selfish, it would not consist of the Cowboys, but we won't go there.
You know, I don't want to give you the CeeDee Lamb Dak Prescott connection. And then Dylan, when I tell this guy I don't want him to have that, he goes, I think you're being pretty selfish, Grant. You know what? Screw you, Ethan. You already have the best team. And I'm not letting you get away with capital murder.
It might happen either way.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to be the reason why.
Grant, are you saying that Ethan is trying to trade blank?
He's trying to trade rate me. He's trying to trade.
No. I was offering you neighbors. Like that's like the highest.
Yeah, okay.
Price
Yes.
you can get.
He was offering me fair deals, but at the end of the day, when CeeDee Lamb has 120 catches this year, and Dak Prescott on Ethan's team is throwing CeeDee Lamb those 120 catches, I don't want them to stack up points like that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
That's selfish.
Well, you know what?
Whoa, Grant. You got to finish. You got to go full Nick Saban. You got to finish that statement. I'm not going to. So quit asking.
And you know what, Dylan? I haven't stopped responding to Ethan. If he texts me about
I might just
trade,
send a different trade each week just to piss you off.
Well, good thing I don't check my notifications on that app unless you text me, asshole. Dylan and I are the smart ones.
Well, Dylan said he wasn't going to be traded until August for fantasy. You know what? 2 days, it's August. You know who's going to be hitting him up?
Ethan is. You see, this is why I hate people in HR. They don't work. They send fantasy football trades all day.
Yeah, but if somebody at the company isn't working, they are on them like white on rice.
It makes
no one said you can't have double standards.
Everyone said that.
It's not in the rules.
I forgot where I was going.
There's a reason Michael Scott hated Toby. It's because of people like Ethan.
Houston wins.
They can't fire him, especially if they have cause, and it's cause they hate him.
And then Ethan wants to complain that work is so hard and I'm in meetings all day. And, today's going to be a busy day with my schedule is full of meetings. Yeah. And I go to work at 8:30 and I work till 4:30.
Sorry, I don't have a hazard of hitting my head on a metal pipe and getting a concussion.
I've been there and I've done that, and it's going to happen again.
Okay, who's your second team?
The Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, can I be honest? The rest of this division is ass.
Sir?
And I don't know who's going to be the quarterback, but guess what? I trust Shane Steichen. And you know what? They've got some good pieces around there. Losing Fries and Ryan Kelly in the offseason is a concern for the Colts. Let's call a spade a spade. But they still have Jonathan Taylor. They draft Tyler Warren. Maybe A.D. Mitchell can step up more. Josh Downs. And you draft Latulle last year in the first round, I think. And the Colts are always in a lot of these games. And also, it just comes down to where I think they're better than the Texans. I'm sorry, not the Titans and the Jaguars. So give me the Colts as the second team. In my third team, I'm going to go Jacksonville. I think Liam Cohen is going to be a good head coach because look at all the coaches he's worked with before. He worked with Mark Stoops at Kentucky. He worked with Sean McVay. He's worked with Todd Bowles. He can learn a lot from those different experiences and put them into the situation he's at now. Because you always hear coaches say, I wasn't prepared to handle this as a head coach. But now he can say, Sean handled it this way. Todd handled it this way. And work around like that. And what the work he did with Baker in Los Angeles when he was there for that hot minute with the Rams, last year with the Bucs, and then also Will Levis's good year at Kentucky. I think Cohen is going to be able to adapt and get the most out of Trevor Lawrence with that. And also it just shows last year Cohen in Tampa Bay wants to run more of a zone blocking running game. Well, Tampa Bay's offensive line, they're not built for like that. So what did him and his staff do? They gutted what they wanted to do with the zone blocking, and they went more of a man power scheme, and Tampa Bay had a lot of success. So I think he's going to be able to adapt as a coach and learn and get better. In Jacksonville, they do have some good pieces, especially on that defensive line, where I think they'll be able to compete and get into third place. But in fourth place, it's the Tennessee Titans. New GM, new quarterback. Callahan as a head coach, which I don't think he should be a head coach. I think he just got that because of Joe Burrow. And last year, when he was gone, his first year there, the Bengals offense took a step forward without him. I think the Titans are going to be a mess. You released Treylon Burks. Besides Jeffrey Simmons, you have no real studs on defense. There's just the only juice they have going for them is a new stadium and the fact that they're in Nashville. But it's going to be a long year for Titans fans, if you ask me.
All right.
But hey, they got a new stadium to look forward to.
It's a cool stadium. So I have Houston as well.
And a Super Bowl in Nashville will be cool.
It will be. It'll be sick. So I have Houston winning the division too. I really don't think they're going to be like some massive juggernaut, but I also don't think they lose. Maybe they lose one game in the division just because of how awful it is. They host that nice Saturday afternoon snoozer of a game as the 4 seed. Second, I got the Jaguars. Liam Cohen, I love him. I think he's going to be really good. He's going to help Lawrence. ETN, Bigsby, Tootin, whatever the combo is, they have guys there. They have the 2 receivers. And like you said, Grant, they have a pretty solid D-line compared to the majority of this division. So they can make some noise. I don't think they make the playoffs, but they win some games. Third, I actually have the Titans. I actually like Cam Ward. I like Tyjae Spears. And I actually kind of like their receivers a little bit. Ridley, I think, is underrated. And then I also think Elik Ayermanor out of Stanford is going to be a sleeper that we're talking about here in a few months. So I do like their offensive pieces. The Colts, I don't like Daniel Jones, and I certainly don't like Anthony Richardson. The only thing they have going for them as a franchise really is Jonathan Taylor. They need to trade him so he can actually be useful for a good team because he probably deserves better than this crap team right now, to be completely honest.
So I also have the Texans winning it. They're going to be the 4 seed. You know what? Maybe as we my seedings come clearer here, maybe I might feel real dangerous and adventurous and bump them up to a 3 seed.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah, the Texans but I think we have to stay with tradition as the 4 seed playing the 2:00 game on Saturday to open the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nick Caley, the new offensive coordinator, I think he's going to, help Stroud come along. They got rid of the cancer that was Stephon Diggs, and Nico Collins is going to be healthy. I really like that signing of Christian Kirk. He's been a sneaky receiver that everywhere he's been, he's just a guy that seems like he just knows how to get open. Dalton Schultz has been a good tight end. Yes, they did trade Tunsil. They did go out and sign Cam Robinson to be his replacement, who had a good year in Minnesota and has been a solid backup, or not backup, but a solid starter in this league, whether it be in Jacksonville, Minnesota, and now going to be in Houston. And then the defensively is, I think, what really haunted them last year, especially in the playoff game, because they had opportunities to get in there. They just couldn't get off the field on third down. I think D'Amico Ryans is going to figure that off as they've kind of retooled the defense. And I have them winning the division in the second place. I have the Jags, Ethan, and we actually just kind of went right down the line as far as how our predictions are going to go. I think they're going to be better under Liam Cohen. A big year for Trevor Lawrence. Kind of entering that contract year of like it's time to either figure it out or you're not going to be playing for the Jaguars anymore. I think they're going to be better. Anywhere Liam Cohen has been, they have been quarterbacks have had a lot of success. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better. I think he's going to show some of those flashes that he's shown. I think we're going to see it at more of a consistent level. Travis Etienne is back. In the 3 spot, I also have the Titans. I think I like Cam Ward. I think it felt like I think this is going to be all about the development of Cam Ward. I think they're going to find a way. I think they might just steal a game. I think he might get hot at some point and steal a win. And then in the 4th spot, I have the Colts. They lost 3 of their big offensive linemen. Outside of Jonathan Taylor, I don't like what I see on offense. I think Shane Steichen is an all right head coach, but I think he spends too much time on the offensive side. He doesn't pay any attention to the defense. He's too busy looking at his play sheet, and I think that affects the defense a little bit more. I think he needs to take on more of an active role on the defensive side. And I also don't trust, whether it be Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson or Riley Leonard, who they just drafted. I don't think it's going to matter. I think they could be potentially also in 1998. The Colts took Peyton Manning. They could also be drafting his nephew potentially, depending on how this season finishes. And looking at their schedule here, they start well. They'll start the year 1-1. They might start the year 3-2. Well, maybe I might have to change this looking at their schedule, because now tell me this, Grant. Week 1 and Ethan, week 1 Miami at home. I'll put that as a win.
It's in Indy?
Oh, yes.
I think Miami's going to be decent.
Jim Irsay it's the first game without Jim Irsay as the owner. I think the crowd's going to be excited. I think they're going to have a big ceremony for Jim. I think those guys are going to come out and they're going to play hard. I think they get a win week 1. Week 2, Denver at home.
They're going to lose.
I think that's a loss. Week 3, they go to Tennessee. I think they lose. They win that one, so they're 2-1. They win that one.
Colts don't lose in Tennessee.
Great point. Week 4, they go to LA to play the Rams. That's a loss. That's so 2-2. And then they play. I think week 5 and week 6 is going to determine how their season goes, because they have the Raiders and Cardinals back-to-back weeks. Oh. And if they're able to win one or two of those, they're 3-3, and then they have the Chargers. They go to LA again, play the Chargers. That's a loss. They have Tennessee at home. They win. I think they lose at Pittsburgh. They lose to Atlanta. Do you think they beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, Grant?
Yeah.
No. Something tells me Steve Spagnuolo will be able to line that up just fine.
As good as the Colts have been in Tennessee, they've been equally as bad in Jacksonville. I think they lose.
Oh yeah.
And then they have to go to Seattle, which I don't care who goes there. Playing in Seattle is a tough place to play. And then they have San Francisco on Monday night. That's going to be a loss. They have Jacksonville at home, and then they finish the year at Houston.
No. Can I make a switch? Can I switch Jacksonville and Indianapolis?
Yep, you can.
I'm doing it. Jacksonville 2, Indianapolis 3.
Well, okay.
Jacksonville 2.
Yep.
We almost went all 1 through 4 all together.
You guys, I was talking high on Jacksonville, but then listening to you two, I'm going to switch it.
Okay. All right. Well,
it can be such an influence on your life.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you guys are for.
So that wraps it up. Now, do we have does the AFC South get more than one playoff team? They haven't had more than one playoff team in. When was the last time they had more than one?
I don't know.
Because it wouldn't have been in 2023.
Colts in 18.
Because it's Colts Texans. That's right.
Colts Texans. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been the last time. Damn. So, I also think it's all just Texans here. So, So fellas, that wraps up our previews. Next week will be, what did I say? Did I say Big 12 and AFC and NFC West?
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yes, Big 12, NFC, and AFC West next week will be our previews. So, more of the same. And we'll wrap up the show here with Ethan. We'll kick it over to you for curveball of the... Actually, no, we won't kick it. We will throw it over to you for curveball of the week.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, so I'm going to do something a little different here, Dylan. So on 3, this is good. We are going to guess the worst driver, the worst type of driver based off of like their brand of car. So like BMW, Chevy, Ford. So we got to guess what we think is the worst driver based off the type of car they are driving.
Ooh.
Let's go.
It's going to be interesting.
Hang on a second here.
I
gotta do some research.
Should we let him ponder this?
Yeah, we got to think about this one. I mean, we got
to think on this for a little bit.
Well, because there's a lot of bad drivers out there, but there's one brand where it's just brutal.
Ugh.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know if we're thinking of the same one, but man, there's one.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. I think.
I pray to God it's all 3 the same.
Oh God. Okay. 1.
Well, that's the thing is like
whoa.
Acura. Oh.
Nope. I didn't. Nope. That doesn't count because that's not the right answer.
I didn't hear it anyway. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Subaru.
Yeah.
We did
Forgot about that. Yep.
Oh, it's the best.
And I can think of 2 reasons why, and I'm not going to say.
They suck.
Why, Grant?
Well,
yeah. That's that wraps up this week's episode. Make sure you like, rate, subscribe, follow us on all of our social medias. 3G TV Podcast. We'll be back next week, better than ever for Big 12, AFC, NFC East previews here. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.